Okay, what's going on, everybody? So we're coming off of the Moon series that I just did, 3-part series. So it was brought to my attention. Someone asked in the comment section if I can explain the want part of everything, because in the Moon series I explained how the moon pertains to one's needs and how the sun pertains to one's wants. So this person wants to know, well, how do you describe the wants? How do you clarify that? Because they just don't feel enthused to want something to the extent that they'll just go dart out and go get it, or, put their focus and concentrate on ways to go get it. So not only that, they ask, well, can a person's purpose or can a person's, their life desire be to just chill and just be chill? And okay, looking at it from an astrological perspective, especially after breaking down the moon, I'd say, yeah, if you utilize the moon for what its intent is to survive, right? So once your basic needs are met, yeah, you should be able to chill. I totally defend that notion. However, you asked for a breakdown, here it goes. Now, the information that I'm about to distribute to you all may be unnerving. It may be disturbing. However, I'm going to present it to you anyway, because this is how things work with me, especially, is when you request something and I see something and it just falls in my lap sometimes. This could not be ignored. And I'm also a researcher, all right? I'm also a scientist. So I feel some type of responsibility even connecting this story. However, I'm not forcing you to take a side or whatever the case may be. I'm going to state the facts. I'm going to give my official professional opinion and then let you decide on your own. However, I will describe in this explanation with this information on how you can utilize wants. All right. So here we go. If you look at the thumbnail of this video, it's basically a thumbnail from a New York Times article that states that there is a measles mandate in New York City. Okay. It's about, reportedly, there's about 300 and something cases of measles, right? Okay. So you may ask, well, what does that have to do with being chill and having the want, right? Okay, so the sun is about self-governance, right? In a lot of instances, autonomy. The sun is about individualistic characteristics that when you see something or you interact with something or someone, you develop the sense to say, I like that. You develop the sense to say, I don't like that. So in that same breath, you develop the way to say, I want that, or I don't want that. Okay? So the government has made a press conference based upon this whole measles outbreak, right? And they are initiating a mandate. So the reason why I'm putting emphasis on government is because government is the collectivism of labor, the collective labor, right? So it's a collective governance. Now remember, the difference is from the sun is an individual governance, autonomy, right? Some would even call it sovereignty. Yeah, let's call it sovereignty because it really is the self-right to express yourself freely and be who you want to be. So here the government is doing this press conference about a measles mandate for people to take vaccinations for this measles, right? Not only that, it's being reported as being something that is extremely deadly and dangerous or something like that. I might be paraphrasing a bit, but I'm pretty much on target, I'm telling you. So you might want to look online and actually look for the politicians who are actually talking about this stuff, right? So they're making it seem. Now, I remember when I was a kid, right? When you hear about the measles, it was like some little bumpy rash that you caught when you go into the woods, and then you get a shot and it was all over. You know what I mean? I don't remember anything being deadly about the measles. I'm just gonna put that out there real quick. And I got all my immunization shots and all that, so I'm not really tripping. But this is what they're saying. They're saying, the government is saying, if you don't get vaccinated for the measles, you can face a penalty up to $1,000. All right, so what this does is, now also, before I get more into depth, I want you to understand and look at the thumbnail, right? And now is where I'm going to give a professional opinion. I'm a marketer and advertiser with my businesses. As y'all can see, a lot of my videos has the logo of me sitting in the chair, in a business chair, black and white. Like, I do this a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to make images that grab people. I know how to phrase images and, you know, put words and use different fonts and use different colors and all of that stuff, right? So what I'm telling you is, when you look at the thumbnail of this picture, it's going to do one or two things. It's going to make you believe that it's going to either scare the Jewish people into getting this shot, or because it's a Jewish lady depicted inside of the picture, pushing a carriage with a baby inside of it, with a heap of garbage next to her, right? And there's actually a Jewish building right next to her to put more emphasis on Jewish. Let's make this clear. Now, it's going to do that, or it's going to make people in that neighborhood look at Jewish people as if they are the cause or the purpose or the reason for this measles outbreak, and it is because they are dirty. Look at the picture. That's my professional opinion. All right. So now, to further discuss this, you must ask yourself, what if it was you inside of this position who was just chilling at home, right? With all of your needs met, moon qualities and intention, right? You have children. Let's say you got 2 children. They look happy and healthy to you. They don't have measles, right? However, someone who has children that goes to the same school that your children goes to has a child that has a measles outbreak. So this is what they're doing. When they go to the medical facilities, they're asking, you know, who else was this child near or had contact with? So they might draw up a list of all of the kids that are in that class with that child. They get the names. Now the government comes knocking on your door and mandates you to go get a measles vaccination shot. Now, who knows how far they're going to go? I'm going to get a little bit dramatic here. Who knows how far they're going to go? Who knows if they're going to actually detain you to make sure that this happens? Who knows if they like put a stamp on your door that says, oh, this is a house that has potentially might even say potentially has the measles outbreak because they've been around someone who's had it. They might go as far as putting a badge on your arm. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty much the beginning. Maybe it could be the end if people decide on their own what they would do in a situation like this, right? So my question to you is, what do you want out of this situation? This comes a time. So the reason even more why I brought this to your attention is because comes a time where you're forced to determine what you like, what you don't like. You're forced to determine what you want or what you don't want. So when you thought you were chilling and all you could do is just chill, because I believe in chilling too. I'm a chill dude, you know what I'm saying? Until it gets time to get busy, you know what I'm saying? So, or do something that defends something that I dislike. You know what I'm saying? So again, if this is you and you have your children and the government are knocking on your door and saying, not only do you have to get your children vaccinated, but if you don't, you have to pay them $1,000 for a penalty, for a fine. Now, I don't know where you're from, and I don't even want to put this on, you know, where we're from makes us more qualified to understand what's going on here. But again, my professional opinion is that this is extortion. This is extortion from your own government. Now, please be advised that the government, your government, is not acting alone when they put this type of propaganda out. There is also corporations who are backing and supporting and financing vaccinations. Okay? The reason why I'm mentioning all of this as well is because this is all Saturn work. This is all Saturnian, Capricornian work. No disrespect to you Capricorns out there, and no disrespect to people who just adore the Capricorn placement in your chart. But this is what it is. This is the description of Saturnian work, a collective governance that, if given the ability, will pervade into natural life, right? So I would say one would, and from their perspective, like they need to make up their mind, because look, there's more information, there's more data. Because I said the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm a researcher too, I'm a scientist too. You understand what I'm talking about? So there's going to be a link in the description box to Richie from Boston. I don't know if you're familiar with Richie from Boston, but I am a subscriber to Richie from Boston. I do watch some of his stuff from time to time when I do get a chance. The stuff that I'm more interested in anyway. And this is one of the videos that he did that caught my attention, because in this video he has a researcher, a scientist, presenting facts about the vaccinations. One of the facts is that the US is number 46 in child mortality rate. Used to be number 29. So now we're behind Singapore and countries like that. Think about that for a minute, right? Not only that, but these higher death rates among children are among high-income whites. So the reason I'm putting emphasis on that is because it's not just the poor children that are being impacted by vaccinations. So when you look at this JPEG that is utilized for this publication, it would give off the type of aura that this lady might be poor, her child might be poor, or at least because of the surrounding environments, right? You can't really judge a book by its cover just because of how she's dressed or whatever the case may be. But when you put a heap of garbage next to her, remember what I'm saying. This is the type of depiction that this presentation gives off. So again, if this is really affecting the high income whites. So again, when I say this is extortion, just think about it. When I say this photo is going to do one or two things, it's going to make people go run and get that shot because they're going to, out of fear, or it's going to make people think that the Jews are dirty and that they have it, right? So it would be the high income whites, you would think, right? That's going to say, well, I'm going to go get the vaccination because maybe they can afford healthcare before a poor person could, right? So it's just like, okay, I'm going to go get the children vaccinated, whatever the case may be. Boom. But statistics show that their children are dying at a higher rate than the actual poor children are, right? So again, now that all of that information is out there, and I'm going to put the link in the description so you can go view it for yourself. So I'm not just making this stuff up, right? Now let's get to the astrological part, which is more along the lines of what I do as well professionally, right? So again, your children happy and healthy to you, and they don't have measles. What are you going to do should the government knock on your door and say that there's a mandate for your child to be vaccinated? What are you going to do? Are you still chilling? You have all of the things that you need. This was not even an issue to you until now, right? You're not even responsible. Like, you don't have measles. Your children don't have measles. So what can actually be the problem? Why do you have to be involved in this, right? So what is it? What do you want now? What do you want? What do you don't want? Here comes a situation where you must decide. Here comes a situation where you must determine. What are you going to do? Are you going to get muscled out of $1,000? And I want you, when you look at the politician who actually gives the press conference about this, no, it's not the politician who says that. Forgive me for that. It's the article that is with this JPEG. It says that the government is going to use a more muscular approach. So listen to the terminology that is being utilized, meaning that because of the number of outbreaks there are, that people are going to actually use muscle, force, and aggression to get this done. So again, will you be muscled into forking over $1,000 to your government because you say that I don't want, right? Or I want, you may say, because of the statistics that the researcher gave, I want my children to be healthy and remain healthy and not be autistic or not become ill from a vaccination. Therefore, they will not be taking these vaccination shots. And will you pay the $1,000 should that be the case? Or would you say, I want my children to be vaccinated for whatever reason you determine that you want your children vaccinated? Perhaps you believe that is the healthy choice to make. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not biasing that part of the situation. I want you to decide this on your own. But this is definitely a scenario where you will be in the position to determine what it is that you want or what it is that you don't want, apart from being chill. Remember, your chill has just been interrupted. There's been a mandate put on you, right? So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And the sun, again, I must stress this, the sun is about self-governance, right? Self-governance. So the reason, again, I said I'm just doing this a bit out of responsibility for being a scientist. And it's like, when you look at what happened in Flint, Michigan with the water, and when they did the reports on the drinking water and how people, you know, were actually coerced into lying about the amount of levels of lead that was found inside of the people inside of Flint, Michigan, like, that's when you gotta question your own government. Based upon that, those facts that came out of that story, it's questionable. It's up for debate. You know what I mean? So I hope this helps everyone. If this turns into a part 3 series, I'm not sure. However, you know, get inside the comment box. How do you feel about this? Did I break it down concisely for you to understand exactly where you should or would or might have to activate your sun qualities, your sun characteristics, despite you living a peaceful, chill life? Let me know.